Hello everyone, I'm RiverFox and welcome to the channel, and today we are carrying on with our Canny Valley AFK Endurance build series. So if you have missed any of the videos in this series, do check the playlist. It will be linked in the description down below. I will try and update any changes that I know of to it in the description, so do keep a check out in there. But yes, today we are going to be carrying on then with our northwest amp, and today we have got our west spawns to go through. So let's see, this is pretty much all of our defenses. It does look pretty confusing, but we're going to get straight up the top and I will show you a brief of it first of all, of what it looks like, and then we will go through a step-by-step guide, not under there, of how to build this so that you can get this working exactly right for you. So this is our defenses. Now our spawns will be anywhere along this point here, and also in some later waves you will get them around this section here as well. So it does look quite a lot, but if anything, I think it's probably one of the easiest ones that I've actually set up. The only downside, I think, is that we do have these annoying tornadoes, which, especially when you're trying to go through step-by-step guides, is not going to be easy. So this is our defenses, and our amplifier is just down the bottom of this mountain down here. So with them spawning pretty much anywhere around here, we're going to have a few directions that they are going to want to go. Majority are going to want to go through this direction to get down there because we've got a pretty straight run, but you will get some that are going to go through down here as well. So for this one, let's have a look. It is probably, I think, easiest if I come and start over here. Okay, now for the step-by-step guide, now this is going to look quite confusing to go along, and in fact it is quite confusing to set it all up. So I'm going to try and cover this as easiest as I can. So for this, you will have this natural part of mountain here. So if you come to the end of this here, and what you will have is if you just place a tile in here just to get your bearings where to start, which will be literally at the corner of that. So if you then turn to your right, facing the east, and if you then place a wall, then that will get you started on where your structures start. So from that then, if you move to your right and then move forward and turn then to face the north, and you are going to place a wall in front of you there. If you move to your right one square, place a second wall, and move to your right again and place a third wall. So there will be 3 walls along that section. Now down in this corner here where this last wall is, if you place a wooden floor spikes, then you'll know exactly then where your defenses and where your block off will start. So if you now turn and face the east, and you're going to place a wall directly in front of you there, and if you move to your right 1 square, and you will place a wooden floor spikes on the floor and a sand wall in front of you. We will worry about all of these up here later on, okay? Once you've got from this square here, then if you move to your right again, and you will have another wooden floor spikes on the floor. But if you turn around to face the west, and you will have a sound wall directly behind you. And let's see, yeah, we carry on over here for now. If you then go to your right again, and you will have another wooden floor spikes on the floor, and directly behind you will be a second sound wall. So you'll have 2 sound walls, and this is how you know where to actually set your tunnels up, is where these 2 sound walls are. So from this point then, we move to our right again, and you will have another wooden floor spike on the floor, and directly in front of you will be a sound wall. And move to your right again, and this time you're going to have a tar pit on the floor and a wall launcher in front of you. Move to the right again, and another tar pit and a wall launcher directly in front of you. Now from this point here, move to your right again, and you're going to have a wooden floor spikes on the floor. But in front of you this time you're going to have a edited wall on the left hand side, so that any smashes are going to keep to the right and fall down to there, which we will get into in a bit. So from here, if you move forward 1 square, and you are going to place a tar pit on the floor, a sound wall directly in front of you, and a wall launcher to the left of you. There won't be any trap up here. You don't need to worry about that at all. So that will fetch you pretty much to the edge of this natural mountain piece there. So from that point, you can leave the rest of it there for a moment, and come back over to your first sound wall, which you placed over here. So from this, if you move forward 1 square, and you will have, let's see, you're going to have 1, 2, 3, you're going to have 4 squares directly in front of you, which you will place wooden floor spikes on all of those 4 squares. And on your right hand side of this first square, you will have a wall with a wall launcher on. If you move to your left 1 square, and you are going to place a tar pit, and on the left of you will be a broadside, and directly behind you will be a broadside as well. We'll worry about ceiling traps after, don't worry about those. Directly in front of you, you are going to have a edited wall like this, which is going to go all the way across, but we don't want a full wall because we want our broadsides to be bouncing back and forth between these 2 timeout rooms. So that will cover that. So if we come back over to the right 1 square and then go forward, and you're going to, again, you've already got your wooden floor spikes that you've placed. So you've got a second wall launcher then on your right hand side. Move to your left 1 square, and you will have a tar pit. You will have a broadside on your left and a broadside directly in front. Now back over to this one, and if you go forward again, got the wooden floor spikes already. So we've got a third wall launcher to your right. If you then move over a square, and again you're going to have a tar pit on the floor, and you will have a broadside to your left and a broadside directly behind you. You will then have the edited wall like that directly in front. So if we get back to this square again and move forward 1 more, this is your last final wooden floor spike, and we have got our 4th and final wall launcher in there on your right. So if you move to your left 1 square, you will have a tar pit on the floor, and directly in front of you a broadside, and to your left a broadside as well, and that will fetch you to the end, which is pretty much overlapping the mountain, the actual natural drop. So if you come over to this now, on the right hand side, then you move over where your second sound wall is. Now this then is pretty much identical but reversed to this. So exactly what we done over there, but in reverse. So you will come forward, you're going to place 4 wooden floor spikes down on the floor. On the left hand side, you will already have the walls there because you've placed them on the other sides. So just place 4 wall launchers along there. And as you come forward on the right of you, you move across to your right 1 tile, and you've got tar pit, and you've got broadside and broadside behind you, and your edited wall in front. And if you come forward another tile to here, and again you have tar pit on the floor, broadside in front and broadside to your right. And if you come forward then to this tile here, you will have your tar pit on the floor, your edited wall directly in front, and you will have broadside on your right and broadside behind you as well. If you then come forward one last tile, which will fetch you to the end of this wall launcher, and you've got your tar pit on the floor, broadside in front and broadside on the right, and that is going to cover majority of the main defenses that you have set. So we then need to come back over here. Now from this point, let's have a look. You will have this natural ramp going down here. So if you turn and face your south, and if you come to the corner of this natural part, and you are going to be placing a wall with a wall darts on it directly in line with the edge of this part of the builds, and to the right of that you will have another wall darts as well. Up above these two squares you don't need any traps on them, but just two ceiling pieces there. But on the tops of these, if I can actually get up here, on the tops of these two squares you are going to place two anti-air traps, which will just prevent any lobbers and flingers from getting anything over to your amp. So that will be that section. Now once they are done up there, go get back up here again. Behind this and behind the two walls that we have placed, you are going to place two stairs, or backwards edited pyramids, whichever, facing towards the west, and then turn around to face your east, and you will place two walls in there as well. Now behind these walls you are going to have another two stairs, which will be facing towards the west. You don't need to worry about putting any wall pieces behind them. That is perfectly fine. We'll get to that piece in a moment. So that will cover some block off there, which prevents anything from wanting to go through that direction. So for this bit then, we are going to come to this natural ramp on the left hand side. All of these have been placed already. So if you go down to the bottom of your natural ramp, and just at the very bottom you are going to get to this flat section, and behind there is a natural part of the mountain. So if you place a tar pit, well, in fact you place two tar pits covering the bottom of this ramp. So tar pit here, on your left hand side you will have a wall launcher. Up above that will just be a blank tile. This is just to make sure nothing actually falls down behind that or actually stands on the top of this wall. So place a wall there. Directly in front will be a sound wall, and up above that you will place two plain walls. So that will be that section. Now this tile on the right here, you're going to have your tar pit on the floor, and you're going to have a broadside behind you, and on the other side of that will be a sound wall. So that will cover there. If you then move to your right another square again, now I've used retractable floor spikes, but you can use pretty much any damage floor traps that you want in these. Directly in front of you will be a wall launcher, and to your right will be a broadside. Now if you then, still facing this direction, go backwards one tile, and I've got retractable floor spikes down here again, and to your right is a broadside, and behind you is a broadside as well. We are leaving this one open so that if anything does come down here and decide to go round this way, then they're going to get hit by that broadside anyway. So that is that. We are going to worry about all ceiling bits later on. We will do them later. So if you come back forward now to this square here, behind this is a natural bit of mountain. So on this square, move forward one, and you will have a tar pit on the floor, and you will have a wall launcher then on the left hand side. If you move to your right one square, now we've already placed this wall behind us, so that is already in there. So we've got retractable floor spikes on the floor. We have an edited wall directly in front. We've got broadside to our right and broadside behind us as well. If you then move back over to this square and go forward, one square, and you've got another tar pit with a wall launcher then on the left hand side. Move to your right and you will place a floor with retractable floor spikes, a broadside directly in front, and a broadside to your right as well. Back onto this square here and move forward. Now on your left hand side you are going to have your edited wall. This will be on the left hand side. On the floor will be a tar pit, a wall launcher directly in front of you with a plain wall above that, and a plain wall to your right as well, and that will cover this part of the defenses as well. So what we need to do now, because that has covered all of the actual defenses, the trap tunnels, so now we are going to need to go and finish everything else off, really. So what, let's have a look, the best places to be. Now you will already have had these walls and these structures in, and all of this will all be set up from your defenses that we've done in here. So let's have a look. Let's find the best route we can get. Yes, okay, so that is there. If you come back, I think, to your stairs here, your second set of stairs that you've placed in, and to the right of that, facing the north, if you place a wall in there, and if you then go up on top of that wall facing the north and place a floor and a wall to your left, move forward one square and place another floor and another wall to your left, and then move forward another square and you will place a floor and another wall to your left. And if you then move over to your right and place a floor there, and then move forward and place another square there, and these walls are already in along the bottom. We've already got those in, so all you will need to do is just placing a second wall on top. So we've stopped at this section here for the time being, just to come around the front here. So where all of this is that we've all set up, and we've got this floor piece in there, so up above that floor piece you're going to place one wall, and then a second wall and a third wall, and you will have a fourth wall. Now when you do get to the point where you've got your sand walls, you will miss this wall out, and you will miss this wall out, so that will be two missed out. And then as you keep moving to the left, you're going to place another wall and another wall, and this is going to fetch you back into the corner which we have got to earlier on. Now if we then get back up to the top, because I'm trying to do this in such a way it's not going to confuse you too much, but we got to this point. We have done this square, and we have now done all of those walls going all across there. So we now need to do our block off. So from this tile which we placed, if you then turn and face the east, and if you move forward one square, and you are going to place a edited cone, which is going to face the southwest, and you will then surround it with walls. Okay, so now if we come back to this square that we've done, and if you move to your left, now this one you are going to have a edited floor piece in this one as well, which is going to be facing this direction. Then you will have your edited cone, which will be facing the southwest, and surround it with walls. Okay, so then forward from there, which we've placed this one, so it's next to that, you will have exactly the same edited floor, edited cone pointing towards the southwest, and surround it with walls. If you move forward again from that, and this time you will have exactly the same, but there won't be any edited floor piece on this. So you'll have your edited cone pointing the southwest and surround it with walls, and that will bring you to the end of that row. So if we come back to this one here, and you want It wasn't even maxed out. If you want to move over to your left, there's another one. You want to move over to your left 1 square. And again, identical. You will have your edited floor piece underneath, your edited cone pointing the southwest, and surround it with walls. And this will back on to your trap tunnels, which you have already done. Move forward 1 square, and exactly the same edited floor piece. Nope. Well, that was upgraded. Edited floor piece, your pyramid pointing to the southwest and surrounded with walls. Move forward 1 more square, and again you will have no floor piece in this one, but your edited cone pointing the southwest and surrounded by walls. And that will be the end of that section of block off. So what we're going to need to do now we have set up here, we've got all of this has been set up, all of these trap tunnels here. So from this point where our trap tunnels start, all our walls are along the top here. So from here we are going to turn towards the north, and you are going to place a stairs which will be pointing the west, and then you will move forward 1 square. You'll have another set of stairs which will be pointing the west, and on the right hand side of that you will have a wall. Move forward 1 square, exactly the same, stairs pointing west and a wall on the right hand side. And then forward another square, exactly the same, stairs pointing the west and a wall on the right hand side, but also a wall pointing in front of you towards the north as well. So from this point here, I'm going to get round to the other side of this, facing the south. Now on this wall you do want to place a wall launcher, because you will need that for other defenses and lobbers and thlingers from this side. Once you have done that, if you move to your right 1 square, and you're going to place another wall with another wall launcher on it. You don't need to worry about placing a third one in there. That is fine. You can leave that open. So if we come back to our first one here, where we put our stairs. Now, if you then move over behind your second wall and facing the south, you are going to have a stairs, which this time be facing the south. Move to your right 1 square and you will have exactly the same. Stairs pointing to the south. Now over here at the edge of this set of stairs we've done, place a wall in there, and then you can just walk forward 1 square, and this is going to be identical to the one in front. We have got stairs pointing to the south, wall to your left, nothing underneath, but you will also place a wall behind you as well. Move to your right 1 square, the same, stairs pointing the south and a wall to your behind you. You don't need to worry about placing a wall in there. If you then move forward 1 more, let's come back over to this spot. Move forward from here 1 more and fall down. Now you will place a wall on your left and a wall behind you. This wall in front should already be here from the builds earlier, but you were going to place a edited cone which is going to be pointing to the southwest. If you move to your right, this one you are going to have either the edited ramp or your stairs, which will be pointing to the south, and place a wall behind you. Move over 1 more square, and again the stairs or edited cone pointing the south, but this time you're going to place a floor piece above you, a ceiling piece. To your right you will place a wall piece, and behind you you will place a wall piece as well. Once that is done, if you come up on top of this floor piece that you've placed, and you will put a anti-air trap. Just to the right of that, place another floor piece and another anti-air trap. And this one will fetch you back to the corner where we first started on those. So that will cover all of the defense wise. So now we need to worry about our lobby shield and our ceiling defenses. So if we get back over here, and we're going to start over right back over here where we started first of all. So let's have a look. Now we've placed all these, we've placed these walls here as well. So once you get to the end wall here, the last piece where it joins to your stairs, if you jump up top, and you are going to place two floor pieces. So one here and one just to your right as well. Directly in front of that, you will have your edited ramp or your stairs, and you are going to place two of those going up. If you move over to your right, and you will do exactly the same, another two going up from there. Now, if you then move over to your right again, and you're going to place another floor, but then going forward, you are going to place another floor in front of you there, so it's two, and then a third floor on the end, and this one, place an anti-air trap on there. Directly in front of that, you are going to have your edited ramp or your stairs, and you will have two of those, two directly in front. So if we come back over to this square now, from this square, if you then move to your right and place a square, turn directly around towards the east, place another square, and then turn back towards the west, and you are then going to place another one and another two and another anti-air trap on the top of that, and then you will have your edited ramp, two edited ramps on top of there. So that will do that row. So if we get back over to this end piece now, and if you move over to your right, and you are pretty much going to follow the exact same. So you've got, including this one, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4 floor pieces with anti-air trap on the end, and then two of your edited ramps up there. So that will do that row as well. And then to your right of that, one square, exactly the same again. Just follow exactly the same pattern as you were doing. Now, for the purpose of this, what I'm going to do, I'm going to put a cone there just for the time being, because we don't want to confuse and go too far in. But from this point then, you're going to move to your right one more, and exactly the same as before. Move to your right again, and you will go exactly the same. And then to your right again, and the last final one exactly the same. So all of those will be matching. Now from this point, move to your right one more, place two floor pieces, and then two of your edited ramps. From there, if you move to your right again, and exactly the same as before, two floor pieces and two ramps, and that will fetch you to the end of your defenses here, which we've already set up. Now all we need to do now is to come back over to this point here where your block off will finish. So this is the end of your block off. So we're going to face over to the east this time. So from your block off, you will move left one square. Let me get that out of the way. And what you will do then is you're going to place 1, 2, 3, 4 tiles forward. Okay. From there, move to your left, and again 4 forward, and one more to the left, and another 4 going forward, and last one to the left, and another 4 going forward, and that will give you this shape here. So now we just need to place our traps in those ceiling pieces underneath. So from let's start right at the end of our tunnel here. This is probably the easiest part to it. All of these ceiling pieces, every ceiling piece in this tunnel on both sides, you will need to place a ceiling drop trap, and this will go all the way to the sound walls. If we stop at the sound walls for the time being, that will be the easiest. So you will have all of these squares in there will all be filled. Okay, so from this sound walls, you are going to go now and pretty much place every tile that has a floor piece on it. You're going to have a ceiling drop trap on there. Don't worry about placing one over the top of the amplifier that's not set. You don't need to place one in there. You can leave that one blank. But all of those other squares will be blank. Will have tires traps on it. Now, it is entirely up to you if you want to place one on this square or not. You don't have to. I mean, you can put in a ceiling electric field. It's perfectly fine. You can leave it blank. It really doesn't matter. But you will have all of those squares. Now, the only two squares that I did leave blank were these two end ones over here, because pretty much nothing is going to be coming this far over to cause any problem. And I did replace some drop traps there with electric fields only because I ran out of ceiling drop traps at the time. So you can put in electric fields or ceiling drop, whichever suits you. And yeah, it will pretty much be every square. You can fill them two in as well if you wish. It's not going to make much of a difference. But that should be all of your defenses and your lobber shields and your block off and everything set up. Now, there are one or two spots I do need to point out. Now, with the lobbers and the flingers especially, they will quite often come, when they spawn there, they will come all the way down here. They will come all the way down this ramp, and they will start heading in through that direction. So what I did do just at this sort of mountain base, I did place a single wall with a wall launcher on it, just to keep flinging them back. And what they sometimes might do is they may even go all the way around there, which by the time they've done that, it tends to have the wave finished anyway. I did, however, if you come past this and start heading up this natural ramp, I did add on the back here. I have got two, I can't even get up here, because this is where our tunnels are. So I've got two walls at this point as well, and on this one wall, this side, I do have a wall launcher on there as well, just in case anything did manage to pound its way through that and get through. But that is all of our defenses for our northwest amp from the west spawns. Whew. So I hope you do find this video useful. If you do, don't forget to drop a like down below, smash a subscribe before you go, and if you turn on the notification bell, then you will always get updated of all my content when it comes out. If you do buy anything from the Fortnite store, please consider using code RiverFox, as it will help me out a great deal. And don't forget to check the playlist in the description down below. We'll cover all of my builds, plus any updates if I come across any. But I hope you did enjoy, and as always, until the next time, I hope you have a lovely day and stay safe, my friends.